squatting Slav TV.
Last week, the world was shaken up after news surfaced detailing the horrific murders of two Scandinavian tourists in the remote mountain region of Morocco. Mary Newland of Norway and Louisa Jespersen of Denmark were found brutally murdered after two French hikers discovered their bodies in an isolated area near Imlil en route to the popular hiking destination of the Tubgul mountain peak. According to chilling news reports, the bodies of the young women were found in close proximity of their tent, and both of the young women had been brutally decapitated. Following the incident, 4 men were taken into custody after authorities discovered knives and machetes in their bags as they attempted to board a bus to the popular tourist resort of Agadir. Authorities have since revealed that one of the men in custody bears a striking resemblance to one of 4 men who had recently posted a video on social media declaring his allegiance to ISIS, and that another has affiliations to an extremist group in Morocco. Since then, 9 additional suspects have been taken into custody, and the brother of one of the suspects has come out saying that the attack had absolutely nothing to do with Islam. Following these horrific murders, a video showing the alleged decapitation of Miss Jespersen emerged online, and reports claim that it was sent via social media to the grieving mother of the victim by various members of ISIS. In this shocking video, one of the suspects is heard repetitively speaking about the enemies of Allah and mentions revenge for his brothers in Hajin in reference to the recently fallen ISIS stronghold in Syria. Although gruesome ISIS execution videos are nothing new, this latest execution video hit close to home for many people because the victims were 2 innocent young European women who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. From what we know thus far, Louisa Jespersen and Mary Newland were study friends from the University of Norway who had embarked on a month-long private holiday trip to Morocco. Prior to leaving, Jespersen had even posted about her trip on Facebook, asking friends if they had information on the popular Tubkal mountain peak close to where her body was later discovered. Although Morocco is typically a safe travel destination, which is visited by 500,000 tourists annually, it is nonetheless a country with a history of jihadist extremism and terrorist activity. In fact, a quick glance at the US Embassy and Consulate of Morocco website reveals multiple travel warnings linked to extremist activity in parts of Morocco, with the most recent one having been issued on the 13th of December this year. While travel enthusiasts are often told that the world is their playground and that the bounds of exploration have no limit, the truth is that many parts of the Middle East are not exactly the safest travel destinations at present. In fact, just a few days before their deaths, the 2 young women had been cautioned about camping alone in the remote regions of Tubkal by a local Moroccan mountain guide. Realistically speaking, 2 blonde women traveling unaccompanied through the remote regions of an Islamic country make for an extremely easy target for those who wish to bring them harm.
I think it's really sad, especially I know there's 2 women. I suppose I feel safer because I'm here with my partner who's a man.
Despite their lust for adventure and pacifism, these 2 young women, like countless others, are sadly the product of a very deceitful and very naive Western society. The women's home countries of Denmark and Norway have long fostered a climate of tolerance towards mass migration from Africa and the Middle East, and are now desperately scrambling to find a solution to this ever-growing problem. Couple this with EU hate speech laws, which throw people into jail for raising concerns over Islamic violence, and chances are that you'll produce a generation of people who are completely oblivious to the fact that radical Islamists want nothing more than to see them dead. A quick glance at one of the victims' Facebook posts reveals this exact kind of irony in a video shared back in 2015, in which white people are cautioned against judging Muslims based on their appearance. Sadly, these 2 young women were most likely brainwashed into believing the notion that third world foreigners are just as welcoming and tolerant of us in their countries as we are to them in ours. Breeding this kind of naive mindset foolishly leads many young people to believe that third world countries will welcome them with open arms and that their differences will be embraced in jihadi flooded countries with completely backwards value systems. Although the horrific murders of these 2 innocent young women have shaken up the world, they've also served as a valuable lesson for those who wander off naively into dangerous territory, believing that they'll be welcomed and accepted. While we're often told by our progressive leftist culture that embracing third world foreigners will create a reciprocal attitude of tolerance towards us, the truth is that many of these foreigners still embrace violent anti-Western ideologies and hostile attitudes towards us. These types of false leftist notions misled the young women into believing that they'd be welcome in an isolated mountain region prone to terrorism, where the very same people that they were taught to embrace ultimately ended up taking their lives.